What is up, guys? Closing chat right now. Just getting some of the stream stuff taken care of. And as you can see, we have cooked up an interesting line. I hate playing against the Phildor. My opponent, all of his games ended after H6, or he had one game in the database after G4. And I was looking at the engine with this line for a little bit. Right about here is where black has a few different options. Most popular move, knight to knight c5. Okay. That is also another option that black can go for. And I think with that, sorry, just trying to post that the stream is live. Stream. All right, closing out of Slack right now as well. Okay. So here I'd kind of looked at knight c5. Usually there's a bishop trade. Then f3. Obviously, like black's trying to put a lot of pressure on e4 here. And for here, what was the move? I think it's oh yeah, it's f. Funny enough, queen f3, queen and g2. Why did we? I think it's queen f3 here with the idea that once we push g5, like once the trade happens, and we trade our queens there to defend the rook on excuse me, on h1, and it gets us quicker to castling queenside. Pretty sure it's queen f3 here. That I normally don't play this sort of setup against the Phildor. Normally I play like knight here and then play d4. Some sort of similar setup like that. So it defends that. And we can have similar ideas. Originally with the knight c5 ideas, we would trade bishops and then with like f3, really lock everything down. Here, here, something, and then castle. Pretty sure we didn't mind this idea. I mean, this is obviously like black's normal setup that they go for. This whole here, this stuff here, castle. Usually the rook comes out, you tuck the bishop back, and you start expanding on the queen side. Grandmaster Mon Hamilton's been playing setups like this on his most recent speedrun video. He's got like 30 episodes out. They just put out the last one recently. Thinking about just pushing G4 here, or G5. Oh, this is what happens. Okay, so it's like G5. Takes. Oh, I looked at options where there was like this takes and e4 idea, but the bishop wasn't on e7. All I knew is that I could not take back here just because it gets really it's really dicey down here. But I think we can just push I want to push 5 here. Why not? All black's pieces are kind of stuck a little bit. 5. Let's see here. On takes, we'll take back with the pawn. Then my opponent is I'm not sure if yeah, it does show on the screen, almost a whole 100 points higher, and obviously the higher up you go, the bigger I think that rating difference matters. I'll hover over, like, he's got a really good rapid rating, 2300, 2355. Won't put any disrespect on his name, his or her. Let me see if he's got a name or anybody. No name. Part of it looks like the Charlotte Chess Club. 19. Okay, his USCF rating is 1928, by the way. So takes. He's has to take the rook here. And my whole goal with this opening was just to get my opponent, like, throw them off. I know they have not seen anything. Said they had games up to this point right here, and I forget what their opponent had played. But funny enough, I used Brock, the Twitter AI, to kind of give me a suggestion. Wow. Wonder if the move for him was like, I guess they couldn't go here. I guess I gotta seriously consider what Queen H8 looks like here. Queen H8. So Queen H8, King F8. Right, because this bishop is completely trapped. That's checkmate. So here. How do I get the rest of my pieces involved now? That's like the big question. Here. Part of me wants to play like F4. I think we need to get this rook involved and like open up the F file. Here, king here, like F4. There's ideas of bishops along the H file, but here and then we don't maybe mind. Maybe that's the okay. Queen H8, King F8, Knight F3. How do we get Knight F3? The idea being that we want to get this knight to F5 and then put pressure here on the G7 square. That would be kind of ideal. Sure, he doesn't play G6 either. That would be like H8 is just like a must play in general, though. Here, I guess this pawn is semi-hanging. Here. So we have to be here. Maybe it's just night out. Kind of goes along with this plan that I kind of had an idea for. This is just too slow. Firepower down there. Here. F6, we're probably just clamping down. I would have to assume that would be the top move. Makes the queen be super awkward though, because then well, I guess this is pinned, but all right. So queen h8, king f8, knight f3. Maybe okay, so in that scenario, okay, so here. He decides to trade now. I don't think we want to allow him to dislodge, but then here. Defend. Okay, then he can just go back, defend. And that pawn, that doesn't come with check. That doesn't come with check. Guess we have to play. Take. All right, start with the move that we know we're gonna play at least. All right, I think we decided on knight f3. Pawn takes, knight takes. Probably trade off the light squared bishop. Said we're clearing pieces out anyways. Or an eventual rook over to this side of the board. That would probably just play like knight here or bishop here. Spicy game though. I'm glad I went for this. Glad I did a little bit of research. So, like the AIs are somewhat okay. Giving some suggestions. I kind of just inputted the first. What moves did I put in? I put moves up to here. He had literally always played this move like 30 or 40 times in any game that he'd gotten here. So I just copy pasted this first 3 move orders and just asked for suggestions. There. Huh. Interesting. Guess with the idea that takes Again, just like the whole idea of takes, 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 takes. Must be able to push. Can't play that. Maybe I'm... I feel like there is always the option to play g6 at some point. Just kind of sacrifice the pawn. Open up this F file. Okay, so bishop here maybe now? Now we can do takes, 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 and he can't push right away. Oh, we're gonna get this move though coming up. Say here, bishop here. Yeah, I think we bring the queen back now. It did its job. Did it? So thinking like queen h5. Ideas of 6 at some point. Want to get castled long. That is kind of like the goal here. Here also prevents any of bishop g4 ideas. Adds another defender to 4. This knight is terrible. Bishop is not that much better. Here, I mean, I think that's also a fine concession to get our opponent to play 6. Full to kind of stop. Yeah, I'd say pretty happy overall at the opening. Be interested to see what people kind of guess the evaluation is at this point, or even maybe right here even. It's not expecting this line, like I said, with this bishop move. Most played move easily in the database was knight to c5. Defenders, so want to take with the pawn. If he decides to push, we can try to reroute this this knight where we want it to go. Get his bishop out. See that? Happening. Could just play bishop here. Say double our pawns, protect Yeah, we'll do that. Locks any sort of four. Weird to say that. Go for it. I think the double D pawns can maybe be useful. No light squared bishop. Maybe our king can sit on e2. Maybe we get castled. I don't know. Interesting position. I might have let it slip a little bit. Obviously, black's going to have a lot of firepower down the c file. Let me copy paste the stream. Oh, I kind of want to retarget the 7, especially with no light squared. Bishop out. I guess here still have that. Preemptively play. Have this defense. What about something like that now? Getting the that way. 3, F5, 2. Knight c4. h4. Possible. First move in that line on well, we try to make the games exciting around here, so hopefully people are enjoying. Okay. What if I just go for the immediate get knight h4? Knight h4, knight c4. Six? Probably yes. F5. Yeah, wait, what happened? Probably just feels like there has to be like something there. Threatening. Move allow. I don't know if we're gonna win this game. It feels very complex. I don't know how we navigated that middle game there, but it'll be a fun one to study afterwards at the very least. Might just be one of those games where we lose on time because we're just trying to calculate. What was that? The idea? No, no, no. Can't go there. Here we probably could just push. Maybe we just take the repetition in that sense. Ideas to support our knight to jump into f5 and attack g7. So that's why all the lines I was drawing earlier were with g6 here. Excuse me. I think he was made no sense though trying to get his knight out unless he thought he would get like 2 moves to bend the h8 infiltration. Goes there, we'll repeat move at least once or twice. Knight f5? Question mark. Knight f5 question mark. Who gives a flippin' what about this rook? Knight f5 and there's got to be a mate there. Knight f5, queen g1. Not mate. Not sure what I'm missing here. f5, exclam, double exclam. Where's all of that's dropping if he goes like to try to pick up the rook. Can't take like that. Takes like this. Same idea. How he doesn't get mated. King can't run. No possibility of the king running over to the queen side. But I think we at least get all of these pieces, and if I count correctly, that's 5 pieces of material for 5. His queen will be over here. Probably just have to checkmate him by the time. Gotta be some sort of combination there. I don't know. I think I like my position. That's why I thought g6 was kind of important. The whole idea of this queen h7 move was because we didn't feel comfortable pushing g6 to support the knight. And g6 blocked our... a lot for the trade. Goes here. I'm just trying to see which square do we want to be on. d2. There's some possible knight checks, but here. Go back. Go this way. Yeah, I think we can just go to e2. For whatever crazy reason, we can't checkmate him. Allows for this bishop to block after this. Maybe. I don't know. At that point, we're probably lost if he's taking our rook. And taking on b2. Trying to think here, though. Do you have this move, though? Bishop here. Bishop here. I don't see one. Bishop here. Pawn takes. Guess we're getting away. So that doesn't work out either. Though it's an interesting try, this bishop f6 idea. Tries to get a few more pieces off the board. As long as there's always this got him to think for a little bit, though. We were down on a lot of time there. Who do we have on the lead chess? Looks like Feet Barbie is watching the game on lead chess. Another superb player. Mennonite, another just crusher. And Anonymous. So definitely interested to see. They're all top boards in the normal 45-45 league. Feet Barbie usually on a #1 board. Mennonite, I don't think we've played me and Mennonite. He looks like he'd be a #2 board. Rating. This is round 10, I believe. Let me see. I don't know how many rounds. This is my first time playing in the Lone Wolf League. Pull up the standings here. There are 11 rounds, so only this round and one more to kind of determine where everything shakes out here. This is where the standings are looking like right now. #7 player, Banana Monkey. We played him 2 weeks ago. Ended up beating us. Wow, okay. We will come back to the standings. Let me switch the scenes back. My opponent does not think he checkmated. Okay, well. Let us put it to the test, I guess. Checkmate. I mean, am I missing something here? I think he's mated. Goes back here, check. Checkmate. I think he's mated. I don't think he could take on 3. Bishop blocks, queen takes, same idea. I think it's just checkmate. Oh, I think it's our might be our highest rated win ever. We'll take a peek at the stats here. I think he's just mated though. Queen and knight. putting in a lot of work. I think checkmate happens on b7. Wow. Whew, what an attack, man. I think I'm not seeing the defense. King cannot go here, 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 or here, or here. If king goes back to c8, knight d6, check. King is cut off. No pieces can capture. Okay. And checkmate. Game well played, LCamp. Thank you. Thank you. Tough. Wow, I think it's our best win ever. If I pull up, we're gonna pull up the analysis board here. We're gonna pull up chat on YouTube. BRB, I see you stuck around. Thank you very much, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will pull up the analysis board, and we will switch the scenes over so you guys can kind of see what I'm seeing. And we will transition. So running the analysis now. Can you guys see that? You can. Let me switch LoneWolf Round 10. Long opening at the bottom there. Opening that we played today was the lion defense. And yeah, I think so. We'll take a peek here on. I think we just peaked in our rating. Take a look at the classical. No, not our peak rating. Our peak rating is 2139. That is our best win, though. Best opponent win that we've had. That 2139, though, is kind of fake. I got it after playing in like an arena tournament, and a couple guys like didn't show up. Exactly, BRB, exactly. Alrighty, so I'm gonna pull up kind of what I saw from LCamp as black. So he likes to play, like I said, this idea. I mean, Grandmaster Mon Hamilton's been playing this from both the white and black setup. I've actually played this type of setup from the white pieces in a couple of my last games in 45-45 League, as well as maybe LoneWolf. I was thinking of going something very similar. Pretty much like here. And you can get much whatever black plays. And then usually this move. So pretty much see black play the exact setup. So I kind of fed this opening 3 moves into ChatGPT, or not ChatGPT, Grok, to see what it offered me. And normally I think I play actually no. I mean, we could have gone into something probably could have gone into something like this as well. So, and it gave me a couple ideas. I play a lot of gambits by white. Campiano, hey Gospel, good game, man. Hey Luke, I appreciate it, man. If you are, I assume that's you, K-pop, lcampop. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, so you can go back and rewatch the stream. But I'm gonna go through the analysis right now. This is kind of where I was with my starting analysis. As you can see, Cam's played knight to d7 in all 31 of his games. From a serious perspective, pull up his blitz and stuff. He's played e5 a couple times, but I mean, look at that too, 327. Pull up all of his stats. I was kind of like at an impasse here. I didn't know what to play. I'd looked at f4 a bit. Obviously, like knight f3. Then f3 is an option. There's a few different options here, but I actually really liked this idea of G4, and I was surprised to see that Cam had a couple games played against it. He did play H6, which is the top computer move. I'll turn the engine on while we're chilling here. And then, according to Grok, it suggested H4. Obviously, the idea being want to push G5 and really not allow Black to feel safe on the king side. And especially with like these types of moves, kind of how it broke it down, it's very hard for Black to get to the queen side. Black's knight is kind of in an awkward spot. His light square bishop is in an awkward spot. So this is kind of where, and then E5. And then I think this is, so yeah, this is where, if we look at Cam's games, it ended here. Actually, I guess he played that today. It ended at here. So he had somebody play H3, which seems a little bit weird in my sense. But I assume it was like H3. I assume they kind of went for like a King's Indian attack setup. But that is not what we went for. So the top move D5, this is kind of, I didn't want to mess around too much with my prep. I thought we would very likely get this E5 move. So I kind of started my digging here after we had decided H4, G4. And from here, Black's most played move, according to the database, is just like knight C5, putting pressure here. Like I was talking earlier in the stream, you could easily get a position like this, maybe Black castles queenside. Maybe a little bit scary for me as white, like my king is still at least 3 moves away from castling queenside, if that's really where I want to go. Maybe white, or maybe Black has ideas of opening up the center now that he's got all of his pieces, or at least some of the bigger pieces, aligned. So I thought maybe we would get something like this, if I'm being honest. This was kind of where one of my lines was. And the other one, so bishop e7. It looks like I missed. Okay, no, I remember this. So yeah, so you had this idea of kind of putting pressure or supporting, so pressure along the light squares, or supporting this G5 push even more so with like knight h3 or bishop h3. But I kind of liked this idea, not the third move here of queen to f3, which is what we ended up playing. Surprisingly, our game's not in the database. Following our line. And c6. So like I kind of said, this is the setup that is just very solid. It's almost like a system setup for Black or for white. And at this point, so it did want me to take. I was a little bit worried about taking on the c-pawn. It felt like it gave Black the ability to kind of crash through the center. I know he's not castled, I'm not castled. But I was a little bit wary of here. But it looks like I had 2 different options, G5 or D takes C5. Again, the line that I kind of looked at a little bit beforehand, the whole idea of queen to F3 is that it protects the H1 rook so that we can continue on with our G5 plan. And after the trade here, yeah, this is where I was saying, like, I was wondering what people thought people's evaluations were internally. In this position here. Really, Black's only move is knight to g8. All other moves are almost a full piece down. Kind of see here at the bottom, we do give up our entire advantage here in the middle game. But I was pretty much on my own after this. Like I said, it made sense. Queen h8 keeps jumping around there. All these moves look kind of similar. Knight f3. So I mean, we do play knight f3, I think. Next move anyways. Black isn't anywhere close to castling. What is that? Queen side, so maybe queen h8 isn't necessary right away. But why not play the move? Now the computer says g6. I mean, that was always an idea in the back of my head, was playing g6. You thought you were totally fine. Interesting that a computer isn't a fan. Luke, at what point did you... Are we talking out of the opening? Out of the opening, or which point? Yeah, I'm interested to see. So I think it's a little bit tough. Even I mean, white still has to get right now. Okay, yeah, I didn't really know where to go from here. I know you obviously had pressure on this G5 pawn, and I thought, especially after you played, so I thought after this move it was going to be a little bit shaky here in the middle, actually. Knight F3. I mean, it's pretty much G6, H4. It wants A4 here. Yeah, I thought at this point maybe my center was gonna get steamrolled a bit. Yeah, exactly. I agree with you, Luke. I agree with you. I thought if any of these pawns kind of started dropping here, my game was completely over. Um, your king's actually like kind of tough to crack here on F8. Yeah, for me, yeah, I thought it was kind of big when your light squared bishop got traded off. Because my idea was to somehow attack this G7 square, and possibly had ideas of like bringing the knight in this way, or there was, yeah, if like some of these pawns got traded, maybe bringing the knight through D5 or D4 into F5 eventually itself. So for me here, what did I end up playing? I ended up playing Queen H5. Yeah, and that was part of the reason why I played Queen H5. The computer doesn't like it, but I wanted the ability to maybe move my knight or start getting it going here. I thought if like, I don't know, these pawns looked really dangerous, allowing you to kind of push the middle. So that's kind of why I pushed off. D takes C. Bishop D3 does make sense as well. Why did I brush that move off? I talked about it briefly, but maybe I talked about it the next move. Now you don't have E5 or E4. E4 push, and maybe I can slide my bishop there. Also, it defends F5 as well. And yeah, it almost a full piece advantage, funny enough, if we ended up going down that route. Make this mistake, though, bringing the queen out. I thought the queen did its job. It pulled the king over, kind of trapped the knight. And earlier in the stream, I pretty much said, like, look at your pieces here. Like, this knight has 0 places to go. This bishop's staring at granite for the most part. This queen's kind of stuck. And it's your bishop, your light square bishop. And then especially when your light square bishop gets traded, I thought, okay, my pieces are a little bit easier flowing. We get this trade, bishop here, bishop d3. I was actually worried in this position, Luke. I thought that, obviously, like I initially brushed off bishop d3 right away because I was like, okay, you don't want double d pawns. But the more I thought about it, I mean, it kind of does keeps this knight out of c4, which I thought would be maybe a crucial attacker for you, like a counter attacker. And it removes the defender of the f5 square if we get the light square bishop exchange. And with the idea of being another piece off the back rank, with the if we get castled, if I can somehow get my rook involved, maybe play like f4 later, get my rook to the f file. So we do play takes, makes sense. Doesn't even want black to give up the light square bishop here either. Actually, it's in the top move. Yeah, the more I thought about it, I actually wasn't too worried about this light square bishop. I was kind of happy about the light square bishop. Yep. I definitely have to contest. Also, just giving up a pawn, like pawns hanging. It felt like if you're able to snag that pawn and then bring the bishop back, all of a sudden, like my king has nowhere to go. Takes, and then queen up, queen d7, top engine move. A4. I don't totally understand A4. Okay, yeah, I did see this idea. I thought maybe the rook and the knight would try to coordinate trying to pull this knight out a bit. So I guess that's why I want A4. That way the knight can't go there. But I did not see that. King E2. I had thought about that. Where we ended up playing bishop D3, E3, right? Bishop E3. Yeah, my goal possibly bishop. Okay, I took a pretty long think here. I want to say my idea was probably bishop e3, maybe king e2. I thought maybe you were coming here, king e2, and I thought maybe we would get this position over the board. Okay, yeah. There's no a4, a5. I think it's purely just to stop your knight from like stopping your knight from trading off with this knight on c3. Because I think if this gets kind of pulled away, all of a sudden like the c file is wide open, and maybe it gets kind of scary for me as white, or at least it gets a lot easier for you to counterattack on the queen side. I thought we would maybe get something like this. I thought your queen was going to be coming in here, but obviously it's not a good move. Knight a4 again. So yeah, I did want knight a4 again. Yeah, it's screaming at knight a4. Rook. I mean, this just made sense in my head. I'd bring a rook over if I ever tried to. Obviously, this knight's attached to the d5 pawn as well. Like if this pawn falls and then your knight's defending f6. Like I can't lose this pawn. Maybe there's even sacrifices that are good for you. And then all of a sudden, like maybe your queen's like coming into the attack. So maybe there was ideas where you get control of center. Knight f8, worried about queen leaving the king side. Yeah, I just think I was too many moves away from. So knight here at a4 doesn't want me to take. Yeah, I take. Saying it's draw, but you know, knows at the end of the day. Yeah, I don't know what I would have played here, but pretty much it's computer's giving draw or slight advantage to you if I end up taking your knight. Let's say I go with, say random. Yeah, like I thought any sort of infiltration along the second rank would have been bad news bears for me. That's what I was kind of worried about. Um, yeah, second rank. If a rook got to the second rank, a queen got to the second rank, I just felt like everything was going to collapse. Your king's funny enough. It felt more sheltered there. Here. And then okay, this knight h4 idea was kind of I think too slow. Again, knight a4. It's just like screaming knight a4 from the computer. I personally didn't understand this. What was the idea of bishop to d8? Was it to give a square for the knight? I didn't 100% understand knight. I mean, it was the second top move by the engine, but I didn't totally understand it personally. What am I? What's black threatening? Okay, yeah. Okay, so then I play here, and I thought g6 doesn't work. Okay, I was worried about g6 here. Square for the knight and king. Okay, that makes sense. King can kind of step up. Guards b6. Yep. Okay, that all makes sense. I don't know why. Like, what does this lose to? Takes. It takes. Okay, yeah. So, all right. I was looking at knight sacrifices here, but I think in a lot of my calculations, I had not talked about taking this knight first, and I couldn't see the sacrifice working. So I don't know if I actually would have found. Maybe I would have, but I think if you go back and listen, I was like trying to make this idea work like right away. Funny enough, it's even. But yeah, obviously this doesn't work right away. So it wants 97. Does it just want the draw? Guess it's on. What else is there? G6 now. Rook B1. I don't know. This just looks like a complete mess. I mean, it's obviously kind of scary for But maybe it's not so scary if more and more pieces get traded off the board. I might have just gone for a repetition here. If you had played knight to e7. Bishop takes h4, bishop takes... yeah. That's why I knew I couldn't play g6. I knew if I played g6, then you just trade. That's the whole idea. Okay. Did you notice that my knight was coming into f5? Did that worry you at all? Did that kind of cross your mind? Like the I was trying to coordinate on g7. I felt like if I could get towards g7, then everything was going to collapse from there. Or at least I'd have good opportunities. So, and at this point, it's pretty much, you did see it, okay. Thought I could get away. Okay. It's just tough because once this collapses, that gets taken, this gets taken, and then your entire, I mean, I'm at least getting 5 for 5. Like I said, if you're able to get this rook, I think I either have to checkmate you, because if you get this rook and then you're able to get to the second rank, my game's completely lost. But I thought, I could just step up and there's got to be checkmate here. This pawn's actually an MVP here. Yeah, this D pawn's crushing because I think it doesn't allow your king to, I don't know, do some crazy walk over to the queen side. And then the geometry just kind of works out. It is mate in 6. Yeah, just somehow none of your pieces cover some of the important squares. But super interesting game, man. I really appreciate it. You were, like I said, a tough opponent to prep against. I'm gonna kind of keep this line in my back pocket. This bayonet attack. So, I really appreciate the game though, Luke. Really appreciate the game. So, super tough to prep for. I was kind of stuck. I didn't know if I was gonna play 1f3 today or 1e4. So it was I play a lot of like Evans Gambit, Scotch Gambit, that Smith-Morra Gambit type lines. This is obviously like not a gambit, but obviously a super sharp opening choice as the white side. And usually black's usually the setup's pretty solid. Have you been watching Grandmaster Amon Hamilton's speed run on the Phildor defense on YouTube? The chess bras guy? Because that's where I kind of learned the setup, the whole knights here, bishop here, castle. I've been playing it from the white side. This Phildor setup, especially against opponents where I don't like some of the opening choices that they do. No, I haven't? Okay. Here, give me 2 seconds here. You're obviously a pretty top-rated player, but he plays it all the way up to 2,500 he was beating people up with. Maybe you'll pick up some ideas from it. I'll very much home cooking. Okay, yeah, you might be able to pick up some ideas. Like he literally plays your setup from the 400 elo all the way up to 2,500 elo, kind of beating people up. So I've been liking it from the white, like I said, especially when I can know the opponent I'm playing. If I don't like what they play in response, like you can usually get an even middle game, and kind of go from there. Like it's very yeah. It's my middle game and those types of positions are still a work in progress. Still a work in progress. But all right, Luke, man. Hey, best of luck with your final game next week. It was a pleasure playing with you, man. And hopefully you get some worth out of that playlist. And thanks for reviewing the game with me. So I always appreciate people hopping in chat. So and for everybody else that kind of came and watched, I appreciate it, guys. And we will catch you next time. Final round starts next week. See ya.